Welcome to our City Current conversation. I'm Andrew Bartolotta, Director of Digital Media at City Current, and today's guest is David Williams, Regional Director at Vitalant, formerly known as Lifeblood. Now, I've looked at some fun facts about Vitalant and blood in general, and I learned that 1 unit of blood can save up to 3 lives, which is just astounding. That's incredible. Now, Vitalant has nearly 150 blood donation centers in 40 states across the United States. So they're not just regionally here in the Mid-South, but here in the Mid-South, they serve 18 area hospitals and medical centers and nationally deliver 11% of the US blood supply, second only to the American Red Cross. Now, David, we go way back almost a decade now when you led our team at Leadership Memphis. And if I had to use any word to describe you, it'd be visionary. You are always looking at ways to be creative and bridge the gap between the nonprofit, for-profit, education, faith communities, and sectors. So talk about your role and how you do that as regional director at Vitalant.
First of all, thank you, Andrew, for having me, and appreciate all that cityCURRENT does, all the great things that cityCURRENT does for our community. Yeah, so, I think the situation with my new role as regional director for Vitalant, it was like, love Leadership Memphis and, really saw myself retiring from there. But then I was approached by the person that had this job and was retiring. And they were like, could you help the Vitalant people find someone that could take my role? And I started sending them people, and just they kept calling me and saying, could you send me some other people? And as I started learning about it, one of the things that I learned was that Memphis, the Memphis metro area, has to import more than 60% of the blood that is used by the Memphis area from five other states where we have, five of the states where we have Vitalant centers. So it's, the Mississippi Gulf Coast, it's Louisiana coast, it's Texas, it's Arizona, New Mexico. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with this picture? Why would our community not be able to supply the blood that we need for our own family members and friends and coworkers and even strangers? I mean, we live in one of the most philanthropic cities in America. Why does this not translate in the area of blood donations? And I thought, again, I've been about changing lives with Leadership Memphis and trying to have a bigger impact in the community. And here's an opportunity for me to do just that. And so for me, it was like, that was sort of like the hook. Okay, right? It's like, okay, you got me. Because I think that with the great team that we have in place, and we have people that have been here 20, 30 years or more, and with the great team that we have in place, I think by re-engaging with the community, and that's my background, as you know, by reconnecting and re-engaging the community, I think we can become more self-sustaining with our local blood supply. It is reaching the point where we're really in a community health crisis by not having enough people locally donating enough blood.
And now I know your wife is also in the healthcare field, so you are able to learn from her side as well, just the need and how great it is. Now we've had several natural disasters, and obviously with COVID, we have a lot going on, a lot of obstacles in our way. But what are some ways that your team is still able to encourage citizens to donate blood?
We have five donation centers strategically located in the metro area. South Haven, Germantown, East Memphis near the Target there on Spotswood, in Bartlett, and then in the medical district on Madison. And so we probably do about 40% of our blood collection through those centers, but we have capacity and could certainly use more people coming in and donating. We do blood drives. So, people always talk about the blood mobiles. So we have those, and we do literally hundreds of blood drives throughout the year. Some are actually done on the buses, and some are done inside, like we could pull up with a truck and just load in, often churches or schools or other places. We actually do it inside their facility as opposed to on the bus. And, we're certainly challenged like any other entity with regard to social distancing. So where we used to be able to do 4 people at a time on a bus, now we can only do 2. It just makes it more challenging, but we typically get about 60% of the blood donated locally through our blood drives. One little known fact is about 30% of the blood supply in America, not just in Memphis, but certainly the Memphis area, high school and college students. So you think about what's happened with COVID and so many students going to school virtually. We're not able to tap into those very generous young people being so willing to step up and give. So everywhere we turn, just like in many of the sectors facing challenges from COVID, we're finding ourselves having to somehow make up the gap. It's really tough.
I can imagine. Now, talk to us about how Vitalant is leading the convalescent plasma efforts for COVID-19 patients and how those who've recovered from the virus can use their blood to potentially save the lives for those still fighting coronavirus.
Right. So we do have our blood services division, but we also have like a research institute that's in California. So they've been doing a lot of research on COVID convalescent plasma. But at the local level, it's, we've had 30 something thousand people in Shelby County. I think it's over 6,000 people in DeSoto County. You start to add it up, and it's probably over 50,000 people in the metro area who have had COVID. And one of the things that they can do is they can pay it forward because someone who's in the hospital, who's recovering or attempting to recover from COVID, a physician might want to be able to use the COVID convalescent plasma, the plasma that someone who had COVID, where they can use the antibodies in that plasma to help in the recovery of someone who now has COVID in the hospital. So yes, all of our centers, we don't typically do those on mobile drives, but somebody can't just call or go online and make an appointment if they want to donate. CCP is what we call it. But there is a special place on the Vitalant website that they can go. So if they were to go to their website and do vitalant.org/COVID-free, then they would be able to schedule through that.
Talk about how employers can host blood drives and how that's beneficial to the most vulnerable here in our area.
I just want to say thank you to all the employers who already do that. We would be in a world of hurt if we did not have employers who were generous enough to identify somebody with their company to serve as a volunteer coordinator so that we could then, whether it's coming in and setting up in their business, which with all the COVID regulations, so we've been doing more on the bus, but now that things are beginning to relax, we're able to get back into some of the businesses. But yes, if somebody, can contact us here at Vitalant, then we're super happy to be able to set up one of those drives.
Where can people go to learn more about donating blood or engaging with Vitalant?
The simplest thing is to go to the Vitalant website, vitalant.org, and check us out. It has all the addresses for our donation centers. It has information about how you can determine if you're able to donate. Some people are not able to donate. But I mean, currently in the world today, or certainly in the Memphis area, it's only 3 out of 100 people are donating blood. We've certainly got to get that up. So please, vitalant.org, and check out the Memphis metro area.
Wow, 3 in 100. Yeah, we definitely have to get those numbers up. David, thank you for joining us today and continuing to power the good in our community. Once again, for the listeners and viewers, vitalant.org, go ahead and go there, learn more, and donate blood. David, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, City Current.